Hello Blue Streaks and welcome back to this third edition of JCTV4 Streak Nation. I'm Rachel Vadaj.
And I'm Danny Markino.
Let's get started.
The men's and women's swimming and diving teams are officially off their marks for the 2015-2016 season. The Blue Streaks season opener was this past weekend at the Johnson Natatorium when both teams fell to Case Western Reserve. The women lost 198-98 and the men lost 186-107. Freshman Jack Garrow started out the season with a bang by breaking a 6-year-old school record in the 100-meter backstroke. The freshman broke the record with a time of 53.76, shortly after winning the 50-meter breaststroke event and gaining points for JCU. On top of that, Garrow was named OAC Swimmer of the Week by the Ohio Athletic Conference. The teams will travel to Ada, Ohio this Saturday for a 1 p.m. meet against OAC foe Ohio Northern.
Thanks, Danny. Now let's do a quick wrap-up on the JCU volleyball team from the last couple of weeks. Heidelberg, 1-2-3 loss. Then swept Buffalo State, swept Marotta, then got swept by Belgian Wallace. But then, what better way to celebrate senior night than taking the W to celebrate too? On October 24th, the Blue Streaks dominated over Capital in a back-to-back-to-back sweep. Now, here's the main story for them. 14 years and 15 matches later, the JCU volleyball team ends the losing streak against the Pulver Raiders, defeating Mount Union 3-1. Key players include Leah Switalski, leading all players from racking up 18 kills over 4 sets. Also on the leaderboard is Sarah Orlandi with 12 kills. Maddie McDonald topped the game with 6 blocks. With 24 digs is Sarah Kaminsky and Kit Shaughnessy with 41 assists. With this win secured, JCU's next task is defeating Muskingum. By beating the Fighting Muskies, the Streaks have a chance to play on their home court on the 3rd or 4th OAC tournament seed. If not, the Streaks will have to hit the road for the rest of the playoff run. So far, the Streaks are 14-12 overall. Now let's kick it over to Caitlin Salvino for your update on football. Caitlin?
This past Saturday, the John Carroll Blue Streaks men showed off their powerhouses against Capital University. This game was a straight shutout with a victory score of 48-0. John Carroll's defense was on par, allowing only 2.6 yards per rush. Capital has only 111 total rushing yards for this game. The Blue Streak defense had a main leader on the field. Credit goes to Andy Bryan. Bryan received the OAC Award of Defensive Player of the Week for his attributions to this last week's game. Bryan had a total of 13 tackles and allowed the Streaks to keep Capital from adding any numbers to the scoreboard. The Blue Streaks will be returning back to their home turf this upcoming Saturday as they will take on the men in red, the Muskingum Muskies. Competition might not be in JCU's vocabulary at all this week. The Muskies still have yet to win a game this season, holding an 0-7 record, and are JCU men with the 6-1 record. Their only loss being against Ohio Northern last month. Now, according to the OAC standings, John Carroll is ranked number 2 in their conference. Number 1 being Mount Union with a 7-0 record, and Belgian Wallace just below John Carroll with a 5-2 record. The season has been going well for our Streaks, and looking ahead to the game versus Muskingum, I have a pretty good feeling we'll be on the winning track. Back to you, Rachel, at the desk.
Thanks, Caitlin. Hopefully we won't be seeing any tricks or anything scary this Halloween game.
Yeah, hopefully not. Now we're going to send it back over to Eddie at the chalkboard to give us an update on the JCU soccer teams.
The men's soccer team has been playing great as of recent. They won 5 straight conference games throughout the course of the month and have continued to play aggressive. This past Saturday was senior night, and the Blue Streaks lost in a heartbreaking thriller to Capital. After their recent games, the men's team holds a record of 11-4-1 with a conference record of 6-2. Jesse Marinero has impressed as of late, and as a result, he won his first OAC Conference Player of the Week award. The Blue Streaks then went on to snag a 1-0 victory over Mount Union. It wasn't until the 77th minute that the game-winning and only goal was scored. Credits go to Kevin Pachuta for cornering the shot to Jesse Marinero. The team is next in action on Saturday when they travel to play Muskingum. The women's soccer team has also started to pick up its play, going 3-1-1 over the course of their last 5 games. Playing some very tough competition, the women have come on strong late in the season. Although they hold a record of just 5-11-2, the Blue Streaks have continued to improve and notched some big victories, including one over Mount Union. Abby Pacillo, Preston Mendel, and Bailey Fisher have all helped contribute to the ladies' recent success. The Blue Streaks' next play on Saturday will they will take on Muskingum at Don Shula Stadium.
Yeah, it should be exciting, Eddie, to see what happens the rest of the season. Now we're going to send it back over to Eddie to finish off. We're going to send it back over to Brenan to finish off our wrap-up of today's episode of Streak Nation.
Thanks, Danny. Both JCU golf and cross-country teams are just about putting a bow on their respective seasons, but men's and women's teams for each have enjoyed very successful 2015 campaigns. The golf team produced some very good showings in their invitationals and never placed lower than 6th. Consistency was the name of the game for the Blue Streaks. The squad was led primarily by youth in the fall. Their team concluded their season finishing 4th at the OAC Invitational, with junior Mark Scherzanowski and freshman Chris Slow having top 10 finishes. Men's golf has a lot to be excited about for the future. The women's team had a solid season and improved throughout the year. After finishing in the middle of the pack for most of their tournaments, the team started to work their way up the leaderboards. The final fall tournament was a success. They finished in 4th in the competition that is considered the OAC preview, with only OAC teams participating. Men's cross country put in great work this year. They have been rolling this fall. The team has 2 top 2 finishes and never seen the bottom of the bottom third of tournament rankings. At their pre-national meet with over 1,000 competitors and 100 teams, JCU was able to finish in the top half with only 5 runners. They finished 21st out of 45 men's teams, and Matt Andrews was the first streak across at 68th place. The AAE Men's and Women's Invitational in Winnacone, Wisconsin served as a good test as the team looks ahead to nationals. The women gave an impressive display in Winnacone as well. They placed 18th out of 46 teams and were led by Becky Rower, who was the top OAC runner and placed 2nd out of competitors from the Buckeye State. The junior was named OAC Runner of the Week for her efforts. It was her 2nd time receiving the honor. It is an exciting time for these sports as golf looks to build on a stellar fall, and both XC teams look to blaze the trails at the D3 championships.
Thanks, Brennan, and congratulations to all the Blue Streaks on both teams for your respective wins, successes, and accomplishments.
Yeah, Rachel, I think that'll do it all for tonight. I'm Danny Markino.
And I'm Rachel Veda. As always, good luck to our teams and go Blue Streaks.